Hello everyone, I thought it could be interesting to do a little sample breakdown and show how I did this track for Sample Pack Contest. So the main backbone of everything pretty much is this sample from the How to Turn a Sphere Inside Out video.
So it's against the rules.
Well, if you can't have corners, you can't pull loops tight.
So it's against the rules.
I think it's impossible to turn the circle inside out.
So I put a bunch of effects on it. Namely, this auto-tune is like the big one, and like a bunch of other stuff to try to clean it up and get it to sound a little bit better, I guess. This rhythmizer will come in later, and the sidechain is very important because there's a giant kick drum. I needed kickstart everywhere in this. And then here where it goes crazy with all these colors and everything, I used bird item modifiers with the beat chopper. And you can see I can undo this, but it just kind of automatically splits stuff up, and you can change the seed and make it different. So I did that here. And then I repeated this same exact thing, but then I used M Rhythmizer, which is basically like gross beat, except you can use it in things that are not FL Studio. And I use this track for some other stuff later, like this sample.
This is an absolute banger.
M Rhythmizer uses MIDI to switch between things, so I have this bridged into it so that I have MIDI going on at the same time. Here's the vocoded part.
So it's against the rules. Well, if you can't have corners, you can't pull loops tight. I think it's impossible to turn the circle inside.
Yeah, so obviously there's some like reverb and delay modulation going on here. This vocoder I'm using is a JS plugin by Geraint Luff. It's a really nice plugin. Also, tons of crap going on in the effects. And the carrier I'm using was created with this sample.
Chocolate! Chocolate! Chocolate!
Which itself is vocoded. I ended up editing it into these chords. So you can hear.
So it's against the rules. Well, if you can't have corners, you can't pull loops tight.
And then later I did some more sample chopping to get it a little bit more interesting. And here is a bunch of the percussion. So I have this house percussion sample. I didn't do too much to it. I just kind of compressed the heck out of it. And then I also use this later, because it's a little bit quieter and a little more chill for this part. And then this is really the backbone of most of the percussion, is this breakbeat sample. It has these lovely hi-hats that kind of punctuate through everything, and I really wanted to have that. So basically I just put a high pass and increased some of the treble so that I would punch through a little bit more. And that's all I did. It's already such a good sample, it didn't need much. And let's see. These giant snare parts were awesome. Let's see, reset.snd. Yeah, so that's from this sample, and then the drum hit clap, that, and I put like a crap ton of reverb on it, exported it as its own sampler. I think I used Global Sampler, which lets you just sort of click and drag from up here in Reaper down to here, and I put a bunch of reverb on it, which I think I still have there. Yeah, but I disabled it because I just wanted to have like a quick shot of like this big snare and then instantly cut it off here. So that's how I did that. And I am using sidechain here, I believe, yeah. Because otherwise it would be way too much. What else is here? So this is a kettle, which I think... So I took that and I like pitched it up over time, and then I added some other effects to it. And I think that I must have like deleted the effects that I used, but I exported it as its own. But it's also like wide and stereo and stuff. So that is the kettle. And then the glitch drums, I think I just used for this part. Yeah, because I wanted like a crash, so I think I just like high passed the heck out of it and just took the right channel, put a bunch of reverb and yeah, weird stuff, because I wanted a crash and there was really nothing else that I could use that I could find, but that ended up working. Now we get to the actual MIDI drums. So that kick is from this sample, right at the start there. And I don't think I did much. Yeah, just low pass. That's all I did. That snare... Yeah, so it is just this sample just pitched down a little bit. That go comes in later as well. From this, yeah, right there. So I took that and used that because the go sound is awesome. And let's see, here is the chord progression. So that brass is... So I used that sample and I turned it into Put some effects on it in here. So like a phaser, OTT, and then I ended up using this M rhythmizer also as a volume gate and some other stuff, more sidechaining of course. So the volume gate comes in here. Very like techno, but the gate was a lot of fun to mess with. So this bass. So I ended up using, this.
Hamburger, cheeseburger, Big Mac, Whopper.
So I took the beginning part of that, and I turned it into just that. Threw it in contact, and now basically just like saturated the heck out of it and put like a low pass filter sweep. There's also this bass part, which I think is just from this. Yeah. And this part is actually from the same circle inside out sample, but it's from a small part of it.
So it's against the rules.
Well, if you can't have corners,
Hear that like low like bass part that comes in, that little sound effect? So I turned it into, I believe what I did was I used a stem separator so you could like hear it isolated, and then I looped it in Edison. Like I did that stuff in FL Studio, and so that I had this bass. And now I put like distortion and more distortion, chorus and a bit crusher and all kinds of crap on it to get it to sound nice and big. And it's very crunchy now. There's also this Barry sax from this sample. Yeah, pretty much unedited. I just used that, except I also put this scanner chorus and backlight modulate. Like I put a lot of effects on it to make it nice and big, but at the end of the day, it is just this Barry, just very phased Barry sax. I also used this one. So that is from, you can kind of hear it. I just turned it into that, and if I... The last thing of note is this part that comes in sometimes. So that is from the Awoo sample. So what I did is I used a stem splitter, and I was just left with that, and then I distorted it and put a high pass. Yeah, that's pretty much everything aside from like making the structure of it. Last finishing touch was just to throw ozone on there, just for like a quick auto master. Yeah, that's basically it. I hope you enjoyed this little breakdown. Please listen to the other tracks in SPC if you have not listened to them. They're all really cool. Okay, bye-bye.
I think it's impossible to turn the circle inside